Alright, so this tutorial is going to be about helping you achieve this effect. Dark hallway, creepy door, flashlight, just, thrown right in the middle. I realize it's dark around the edges, but that's the way I wanted it to be. I wanted the flashlight to illuminate it and not any other light source. Actually, I have one more to illuminate the door, but that's it. And I think it looks normal. We can tweak the settings and whatnot. Actually, I wanted to show you, I'm sure most of you already know about it, but BlenderArtists.org. The forum where you can post your current projects, like I posted this right here. I couldn't figure out how to get the flashlight to beam, then through the help of some fellow Blender heads, I was able to change it, especially from Evil Moon Moose. He helps me achieve the halo with the flashlight and to get it actually look like the beams are shining. So thanks a lot for that. And if you guys are really serious about your work, I suggest you post any projects you're working on right here, especially in works in progress, that you just post as you go along like I did. Let me just pull that up really quick. You can just post as you go along. I posted this first and then this one, and it just kept building up from that. So that's just something you guys should know about. You can add me if you want. I'd love to help you out with your projects. And now let's get started. So we're going to start modeling, first part, and then second part's going to be texturing, third part's going to be lighting. So let's get started. Alright. Let's go into our scale manipulator mode and bring out this default cube down to a step. Alright, now let's add an array modifier. Along the x, it's going to be -1, and -1 on the z also. So it's going to be descending that way. I'm actually going to hit 7, hit 8, select all, and rotate my whole scene 90 degrees. Grab it, bring it back in the middle. You don't need to do that, it's just something to do that I need to, so that when I hit 1, that's actually the front, and 3 is actually the side. The way I had it before, it was opposite. So now let's just increase our count quite a bit. I actually think that actual steps have 12. I'm not sure. Sorry about that. I had to go check, and mine actually have 13. So that's just what I'm going to use. Okay, so now let's get started on our plane. Front perspective, I'm going to add a plane, rotate that 90 degrees, and S to scale 3 so we can actually see how we're scaling it, and 5 to go into ortho view. I think that may be a little much, but we can work on that. I'm going to bring this up and over, tab into edit mode, edge select mode, and bring that in. And bring this one down. And there we have our plane. Actually work on this. And this one actually needs to be further back. Alright, now hit 1 and tab out. But origin's up here, so we're actually going to change that. Shift, Control, Alt, C, origin to geometry, and now it's right in the middle. So I'm going to hit 1 and move this over. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but I like it to be nice. Alright, and I'm going to hit 7, Shift D along the X, scroll in so I can position it right in here. Alright, and now I'm actually going to shift right click on both and join them. I'm going to hit 1 and I'm gonna tab into edit mode, right click on these two faces, shift right click, F to fill, and same with these two bottom edges too. Edges, I meant, not faces. There we go. I'm gonna hit 1, and now we're gonna position our camera. Control Alt 0 to bring it right in. Tab out actually, there we go. And grab that along the Y. Grab that along the V. There we go. We can scroll out. Rotate that, actually rotate along the Y, or figure this out. Rotate that along the X. There we go. And just position it to where you want it to be. Grab that along the V. Grab that along, grab it, rotate it along the X. And I'm just going to render that, see how that turns out. And there we go. We have our beginning scene. And now we just got to model a couple other things. Mainly, let's just do this really quick. Right click on our walls, tab into edit mode, tab into face select mode. Sorry about that. Right click on this part that's supposed to be our door, and P by selection. Right click on our floor, P and by selection. Now this is gonna make it much easier to texture our scene later if they're not together. So what I'm doing now is I'm just renaming it. Control left click and you'll be able to rename your objects. And so now if I grab that, that's my floor. Grab that, my walls, and if I grab that, oops, door, grab that, and the cube, control left click stairs. To make it much easier once we start texturing. Next tutorial. Alright, so now let's right click on our door, shift H to hide everything else, tab into edit mode, go to etch select mode, and let's add a loop cut. Let me see how this looks rendered. Well, you're not going to see anything. What I meant is Alt H, tab out, Alt H, and tab back in. I just want to see how this looks compared to everything else. And it looks pretty good. What I'm going to actually do, tab out, right click on my walls, scale it along the X. Okay, they're not connected. I'm actually going to reset the origin point for this one too. Now if I scale it, it's going to allow me to scale it out along the X only. And what this is going to do, it's going to allow me to put in the trimming. It's actually a different way than I did it before, but that's going to be fine. So now I'm going to right click on our floor, X to delete that, and I'm going to tab into edit mode, edge select mode, select those two bottom edges, F to fill, P by selection, and that's going to be our floor once more. And now I'm going to actually go 7, top view, and it's not going to help actually. Right click on these two faces, hit E to extrude, right click and S to scale along the X. 7, see if I can't get anything. Nope. 5, there we go. Scale that out or in to a really bad angle. Just like that, so it's going to be our trimming. So I'm going to hit Z, and I'm going to actually go into face select mode, select these two faces, and P by selection, and I'm going to name that trimming. There we go. Tab out. And there we have our basic model. One more thing I want to do is 0 camera view. I'm actually going to save this right now. You never stop doing that. Hallway. Alright. With my door selected, I hit Shift H and that will hide everything else, which is what I want. I'm gonna reset the origin point on this too. So Shift Control Alt C, origin to geometry. And alright, now I'm going to Control Shift S, cursor to selected, Shift A, and add a circle. I'm going to hit 1, 5 for ortho view. I'm going to align it to view, and let's give it 12 vertices. I'm just going to position it roughly where I think it would look best on the door. Scale it in and grab it. It's not a doorknob, but it's like a door ring, I guess you could say. So what I'm going to make, just like that. Now I'm going to right click on my door and hit H and hide that too. Right click on my circle and rename that door underscore knob. Alright, now I'm going to hit 7. Position my windows here really quick. Alright, very good. Tab into edit mode, go into vertex select mode, hit A to select all, and I'm actually going to grab that back. Reset my origin really quick. Yeah. Or not. Alright. Do that. Tab back in. Hit E to extrude along the Y and Control. So we can actually, exert the amount of influence we want on it. I'm going to grab that. Control. You're going to extrude that. 3 blender units. Alt right click on this. Hit E to extrude Y. Control. And 3 units as well. So I'm going to Shift Alt right click so both of these hoops are selected. And I'm going to hit S to scroll them in. And this is going to be our ring. I'm going to hit 7. Z to go into edit mode. I hit E to extrude. That's not going to work. Let me undo that. I'm going to Alt right click on this right here, this part right here. Actually on the outside part that's going to face the camera. What you want to get. And hit E7 and just control that all the way to the back. Just like that. If I tab out and hit Z again, we have a nice ring. Alright, so now let's actually add a subsurface modifier. So it looks a bit nicer, we'll shade it smooth later. So now let's actually start modeling some of it. Tab back in, hit A to deselect any tab. Hit the toggle visibility button, toggle that button. Box select all these vertices, Shift V, and just leave it right where it is. And hit 3, and I'm actually going to hit S, and I'm going to scroll that out, grab it a little bit, maybe a little bit, and I'm actually going to hit A for deselect. Actually, hit P and by selection, so it's its own object. I'm going to Shift Alt on these 2 edge loops. I'm going to hit 3, bring that down. I'm going to Alt right click on this edge loop back here. Bring that down. maybe add a loop cut that I can manipulate this and grab that up so it looks like it's curving. Same thing with this up here. Leave that where it is and grab that as if it's curving. So if I tab out, it looks pretty good. Still needs some tweaking, so it's just what I'm going to do. Now this tutorial, this model that we're going to do isn't model based, I guess. I don't know how else I could explain it. But it's not going to be about the models, which we don't have very much of anyways. It's just going to be about the lighting and the actual scary scene or whatever. So just keep that in mind. The models don't look perfect. That's going to be alright. I'm actually going to grab both of these so I can do the same changes at them at a time. Scroll. Actually, undo that one. There we go. Maybe one. Maybe grab this 1, 3. Tab out. A little bit more down here. Well, it's just these two vertices, I guess. A little bit more on this one. And that looks about fine. It's a little lopsided, but it's a metal, it's made by metal. It looks antique, so it's not going to be, she rendered it, another subdivision. It's not going to be, it's not like made by machine or anything, so it's not like, has to be perfect. There we go. And same with this one. Do it one more subdivision. Looks like we have to bring these in a little, but that's going to be fine. We'll do that later. Alright, so it doesn't have to be perfect along the back either because it is not going to be showing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually right click on this back loop, and I'm going to extrude that upwards. So now we have that right there. And now I'm going to shift right click on these two vertices, maybe hit S, bring that down. Sorry, that just doesn't look right. Alright. Hit 1, add a loop cut, bring that down, we'll scale these two out, scale these two in, and now we can actually add a couple more loop cuts right in here. And you'll see what this is for in a minute. Just scale these out along the scene. There we go. Now go into face select mode, shift right click on these two faces, hit 3, and extrude that out. A little. There we go. These are going to be our bolts. Column. Scroll them out 1.2. Make it a little bigger. And I'm going to add some loop cuts right in the middle. And grab that. Go into vertex select mode. And grab all 4 vertices. Squash it down a little. click that loop cut, bring in a little, make it look more like an actual bolt, like actual bolts, should I say. That's all I'm doing right now. Now if I hit 1, tab out of edit mode, and from a distance, that'll look very much like real bolts, like you can see here. You notice those two little shadows right there are actually our bolts. Alright, so I think I've ran long enough. That's all we need to model for this scene. So Alt H, bring that all up, render that, and there you go. That might be a little large, but we can scale that down. Alright, thanks for watching. Stick by for my next texturing tutorial. And I'm actually going to put this finished blend up on MediaFire, so if you want to check that out, feel free to download it. Thanks for watching.